here at the little village called Gelli Groes, where it's more of a hamlet than a village, very, very small. Now you can hear the sound in the background, and what is behind me is this lovely old mill. You see this mill? Fed by the little stream over there. And then there's the river's down there. Now what is interesting about this mill here, it's got a fascinating history. You've probably seen the films, you've read the books, you probably looked it up on the YouTube. And what it is the story of the Titanic. Now the Titanic sunk in the Atlantic Ocean. What on earth has it got to do with this place? Well, in 1887 a boy was born in this little village called Artie Moore. Now by the age of 5 he had an accident, he'd lost part of his leg and he had a wooden leg. He was quite known in the village, they said he was a bit of a character. Even as a young boy at 9 he'd invented himself a bike where he could go around on this bike and help him to get places rather than being hampered by the loss of his leg. He still worked in this mill here, but what happened in 1909 he entered a competition, and in this competition what he'd done is won a book, and this book was all about engineering. He was fascinated with engineering. So this Artie Moore, what he then did, he used the book and he invented a vertical steam engine. Now with this vertical steam engine, he created it himself with a lathe, but what he did, he then used it to power the batteries that he would charge for a radio. So what he'd done, he was very interested in wireless technology, Morse code and all that type of thing, and he'd invented a wireless transmitter. This was a little radio station, yet he was still working in this old mill here. Now he'd made headlines in, I think it was 1911, when Italy declared war on Libya. He picked up the interception on the SOS and he relayed it long before anyone else had known, and he was even in the newspaper for that because he told them that Italy had declared war on Libya. He then used to pick up other signals from ships, etc., and he would relay them to people in the village, and they would know the news long before most other people would know them. But it was in 1912 that came the breakthrough. See, in this mill, he was in here and he picked up a message. Now this message that he had in 1912, I'm going to read you actually what it says. Let me tell you what it says. So he was sat there and he picked up a message. And in this message it said, CQD, SOSD, MGY, position 41.44N, 50.24 west, stop. Require immediate assistance, stop. Come at once, stop. We've struck an iceberg, stop. Sinking, we are putting the women off in the boats. Now Moore continued to copy out the Morse signals that he was receiving. It then read, we are putting the passengers off in small boats, stop. Women and children in boats cannot last much longer, stop. Then came the last signal. Come as quickly as possible, old man. Our engine room is filling up to the boilers. He was amazed by what he was hearing. He then went and told the local villagers and the constable about this message of the sinking of the Titanic. Nobody believed him, why would they? But he told them the exact message. Well, only 2 days later, when it came out in the news and they read exactly what he'd written, the transcript, did they realise that the Titanic that had sunk 4,000 miles away, he picked up the signal, and it was possibly the first person on land to have picked up the message of the sinking of the Titanic. And from this Gelli Groes little mill, that is where he got it. He then became so well known that Marconi, who was said to be the father of wireless technology, Marconi, he had him working for him as a chief engineer. He then worked for the Admiralty in World War I, and then in World War II he even invented sonar. He was involved in inventing sonar. So this little place here, can you believe it? This little mill, this beautiful little place, is where the first land-based perception of the sinking of the Titanic was taken up. Incredible, isn't it? You'd think that as well a place like this would be of historical interest, and well, locally it is, but apart from that there's nothing more. But what a beautiful place, isn't it? And here's a little sign to show what happened.